Hey guys, I'm back. We're just doing a shave today. A couple things I want to talk about. Is this the one? Yep, this is the one. I'm using a relatively new shave cream here. Now, I'm a big fan of the Fine stuff, but this is their new one. This is the what do they call it? The blue. What is it? It's like the Floyd Blue, the scent of it. But why doesn't it give the name on it? There it is. Barber Blue. Barber Blue. Yeah. Anyway, I've been a big fan of the original stuff, and so I was kind of skeptical of the new one. But this stuff, really, it is better. I mean, on all of the metrics, if you will. Better soap. Better, better glide, all that stuff. I mean, I still like the old one. The lather on it's great. But this is a heck of a product. All right, so what we're using today it's one of my Corats. This is kind of a custom. It's his 14, his Philly-like one, but I have it shortened like the Dr. Matt Shorty, but there's something different about this razor. It's unique like no other razor. Actually, there's one other razor on the entire planet like this that has something unique that I came up with. I mean, let's face it, the straight razor's been pretty much the same for what, a couple hundred years or more. And several years ago, I wanted to have a Dr. Matt razor that was kind of my thing. It had something very unique to it that nothing else had. And I tried having several razor makers. I showed them the idea of what I wanted, and there always seemed to be a problem. What I wanted on the razor, on the shank, or what some people call the tang, is I wanted checkering. If you know anything about firearms, the steel pistol matches, and usually started off as the 1911 pistols, they have something on the grips they call checkering. It's on the metal, kind of similar to a knurling, but it's hand filed on there. And so when I went around to the razor makers, I went to 4 or 5 different guys and I told them what I wanted. And pretty much they all told me it couldn't be done. Can't do it. I even went to a gunsmith and I said, could you put that checkering here on this? And he said, well, he didn't really give me a yes or no answer. I just got the feeling he didn't want to do it, so he said no. In fact, I spoke with one guy that makes razors on a Sunday morning. I spoke to him for probably a good hour of the conversation, and at least a half an hour of that conversation is him explaining to me why not only he wouldn't do it, but why it couldn't be done. Why you couldn't put checkering on yours. He gave me every reason under the sun why it couldn't be done. And at that point, I pretty much just gave up. So about a year and a half ago, I was talking to Ulrich from Korat. I told him what I was thinking, and I sent him a picture of the checkering. He's in Austria, so I figured he might not know what checkering on a firearm is, because I think in Austria, you get arrested for thinking about a gun, don't you, or owning one? Anyway, I showed it to him. He knew exactly what it was, and I said to him, do you think you could put this on a razor? And I gave him a drawing of exactly where I wanted it. And he said, well, yeah. I said, get out of here. So about, I don't know, it was a day or maybe 2 days later, he sends me a photo of a like just a work razor he had, nothing, probably something laying around a shop. It wasn't big. And he showed it to me that it had the checkering on it. I went, oh my God. I said, you actually did it. And he's like, well, yeah, why wouldn't I be able to? And I said, well, I don't know. I said, maybe because I talked to 4, 5, 6 guys and they all told me that it couldn't be done. He said, well, I don't understand why. Because the thing about the checkering is it's done by hand. You got these hand files and you gotta grind the stuff in there. So he showed it to me. Just some old prototype razor, I guess, is what he did. And I was like, yep, that's it. But, okay, so let me show you. Normal shank. All right. Can you see that? Can you see the checkering? Checkering wraps around onto the top, and it's all lined up. Has it on the bottom. Has it on the other side. Now, he did stamp his logo in there. And another razor I had him, there's 2 of these razors. I had to make 2 of them. The other one, there's no logo on that side. He actually put it on the top. I think he told me it was the only razor that had his logo up on top of the spine. But anyway, yeah, that's the checkering. Now, the thing about the checkering that is so awesome is it's actually functional. I always have a problem with razors. When I go to grip them, they're slippery, especially with the soap these days. The stuff is so slippery. So there's only one other razor that had something with this in mind, and it's the old Phillies I've seen that has that rubber wrapped around there. The problem with the rubber, it's just spongy and you don't get a real sure feel. Because I figured, okay, so a standard razor has maybe some jimps on the top, jimps on the bottom, because you do hold the razor like this with your fingers on top and bottom, which is fine. However, what I realized is that half of the time, 50% of my shave, I'm holding onto the sides because I'm doing this. I'm doing from the bottom up. All right, 50% like this, 50% like this. So this razor, the grip on there is positive for sure with 0 slip. It's the coolest shit ever. This is by far my best feeling razor, I mean in my hand. When I do this, no slip. Feels great. Came out exactly like I wanted it. He's great that way. He's one hell of a craftsman, I tell you. Thing is, see, I wanted to, my wife says, well, that's really awesome. She says, you need to patent that. So I don't know if you can patent it. It's a great idea. I mean, Ulrich's the only one that would do it that I know of. And at this point, he says he's not doing them anymore. He says, because it's just too much work. And I could understand, because like I said, all of that stuff is done by hand. You got to get in there with little tiny files and make those lines. And the way that it wraps around to the top, I mean, all of the lines are continuous. He's an awesome craftsman. Okay. There was an issue that I had with this and the other razor, and that I couldn't get the shave as comfortable as I wanted. I think other people may have had that issue as well. And I tried and I tried and I tried, and I just couldn't get it quite the way that I wanted. So I sent the razor out to a guy. He actually has his own little foundry, and he makes razors and knives. And I told him, I said, I think he says that his Ulrich says that the razors are 65 HRC. So I thought, and I know I'm a big fan of the Hart steel, and they're 62 to 63, and I really like the way that they feel. So I thought maybe 65 would be a little hard. So I sent it to this guy, and he did some preliminary tests on it. And what he came up with, he said the steel, at least the edge, was a little bit softer than that. Not only softer than 65, he said he didn't even think it was 62 or 63. It might have been closer to a 60, because he noticed that the edge was foiling, and he couldn't really tell for sure, because I understand the only way to really tell what the hardness is to really, you have to chop up the blade and you have to mount it in this thing and do whatever. Anyway, what we discovered, and if you're having an issue with a razor, we discovered that the way to fix this and how I got this thing to shave is, it shaves great now, it shaves fantastic. You have to take it on some non-aggressive stones. What did I use? I think I did a Jane, no, it wasn't a Jane, I think it was my Escher that I did. But the real key is the stropping. You can't do a lot of stropping on it, because what that'll do is tend to foil the edge, and I think that's what the issue was when my edge wasn't well. So I won't even go near the fire hose on it. I'll only do like 10 passes on this flax linen that I have, and I do them real light. Like I'm admittedly fairly aggressive on my stropping, but I'll do 10 on that and 10 to 20 on the Kaneyama, the real soft leather. So, and that totally takes care of it. And I've had already probably several dozen shaves on this. So the edge retention is decent. You just can't overstrop it. So, and I'm not saying that that's an issue with all of the Korat razors. I just know that it was with the two that I had here. But I have had people send me some Korat since, and I've done the really light stropping on them, and they've been real happy. I mean, I even tested them, so that's a winner. All right, well, of course it was great. This is their aftershave. You know, the fine aftershave, it's very simple. It just basically has alcohol and fragrance in it. It's my go-to stuff. Absolutely. I'm almost disappointed because I didn't even get any little tingle on there. It was almost just like a 1 or 2 pass shave. All right. So that's it, guys. Again, a shout out to Ulrich for creating something that nobody else has. I mean, I even sent this, when I sent this razor to the guy that makes razors. He goes, wow, he goes, I've never seen that. In fact, I've never even heard of having checkering on there. It's great. Maybe he will make some more, maybe if you bug him hard enough, but cool stuff. I mean, look at the scales, what do they call this? I forget what they call that plastic, but this is the Patriot scales. Yeah, no, this is badass. So, all right, well, hey, it's good to be back, guys. Good to see you. Hope you enjoyed that. Enjoy your shave. Have a great day. Have a great night. And we'll see you real soon.